Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today, we're going to talk about Bitcoin and the fact that we have unofficially experienced a lengthened market cycle as measured from the market cycle bottom. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. Now, your first question might be, why do you say it has unofficially lengthened? Because if technically we are further along than we were last cycle, then can't we say that we have officially lengthened? Again, if you look at where we are today and draw a line, you can see today is the day that the market cycle has lengthened. Now, the reason it is unofficial is because until we put in a new all-time high, we don't know that it's lengthened for sure, okay? So technically, it has actually not lengthened until we put in a new all-time high sometime either today or further out in this market cycle. But if it happens, say, 3 years from now, then clearly it was not a lengthened market cycle. And in fact, if 69K were the top, which I don't think it is, I know some people are saying that 69K is the top, but if it were the top, then in fact it would basically be about the same length as the prior cycle. But I would speculate dubiously, in fact, that we should still have a ways to go, considering that prior cycles have lengthened out. And so I look at the chart and say, look guys, a lot of people have been pretty critical of lengthening cycles over the years. A lot of people used to say that September was going to be the market cycle peak. That never made any sense to me, especially considering that the cycle should theoretically lengthen. I mean, September would have been all the way back over there. I think that's pretty clearly wrong at this point, right? But the point is to say that after all this time, the cycle now has unofficially lengthened from the market cycle bottom, but until we put in a new all-time high, we cannot make the claim that the market cycle is lengthening. So if you are an advocate of lengthening cycle theory or agree with the idea that the cycles will technically lengthen, like I do, then you're probably looking for higher prices from here on out. If you don't, and you think that, we are ultimately doomed to go back down, then there's always a possibility that the bears are right? There's always a possibility that the bears are right, and that it could be a double top, and we could be looking at a potential double top scenario where this cycle is the same length as the last one. I think the cycle lengthens. Okay, I think the cycle lengthens. I do think Bitcoin will put in a new all-time high. I hope that I can bring you this same video in a few weeks, or depending on how long it takes, maybe a couple months. I don't know that it'll take that long to put in a new all-time high. I would imagine we should be able to do that in the not so distant future, but hopefully I can bring you a future video where we say the market cycle has officially lengthened from the market cycle bottom. For now, it's still an unofficial lengthening from the market cycle bottom until we put in a new all-time high. Now, a lot of people are probably going to wonder, well, shouldn't you measure it from the halving? And yes, we've done this before, and technically, the market cycle already lengthened from the halving, which is another expectation that we had, in thinking that, if the market cycle peak had lengthened to this, or had been the same length as the first peak after the first market cycle, the peak would have been back in May. And I think there were a lot of people that thought, April of 2021 was the market cycle peak. It would have occurred near around the same time as we got this peak over here. But look, we said no. It looks like the trend shows that the cycles lengthen as measured from the halving. The cycles lengthen as measured from the market cycle bottom. Therefore, we should have nothing more than a 3 to 6 month lull in the market, and ultimately we will come out the other side. If you remember, we dubiously speculated, in fact, back over here, that eventually the ROI for this market cycle would come back down below this one and get beneath it and then trend back up. Okay, this is what's happened. We also speculated the same thing for the cycle ROI as measured from the market cycle bottom, that we were too far ahead of schedule over here. We needed a 3 to 6 month lull. A lot of people were going to call this a dead cat bounce, But wouldn't you know what ended up saving us? The bull market support band, or mainly the 20-week moving average, which is where we found support at 40K. Okay, so technically speaking, we have had a lengthened cycle as measured from the halving, but we have not had a lengthened cycle officially as measured from the market cycle bottom until we put in a new all-time high. But you should know that as measured from days from the market cycle bottom, the cycle has lasted longer, I should say, assuming we are able to put in a new all-time high. So as we continue along in the cycle, I will be looking to see Bitcoin put in a new all-time high. I know a lot of people are somewhat bearish, or some people have been somewhat bearish recently, primarily because a lot of people look at this and say that it looks like a double top. I understand your concerns. There's got to be some probability there that you could be right in that thinking. But I think from my perspective, I think it's much more likely that we do end up putting in new all-time highs, and then the cycle does in fact lengthen like we've seen the other cycles lengthen. Okay, so hopefully we still have a ways to go. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks with Bitcoin. Again, I know we've just had a pullback down to 55K. At the time of this video, we're trading at about $58,000. In order for us to put in a new all-time high, we need to go above $69,000. So we're more than $10,000 away from putting in a new all-time high. So I don't anticipate us putting in a new all-time high tomorrow or anything, but hopefully we give it some time and our thesis will in fact be proven correct. Until then, we just unofficially lengthen from the market cycle bottom, but hopefully we will be able to make a video later on where we are technically correct. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Also check out the Black Friday sale on the premium list. You'll get access to weekly reports and videos, the Telegram alerts channel, the Telegram chat room, the risk dashboard, trading view indicators, and more. Make sure you guys check it out. Lock in the lower rate. You have until the end of the month. So go check that out in the description below. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, click the bell icon to turn on notifications. Please give the video a thumbs up if you have not done so already, and I will see you next time. Bye.